You probably already know that the Queen of England is devoted to her corgis, but keep watching to discover just how deep that love runs. The Queen's history with pets and other animals is long and adorable. Queen Elizabeth's love for corgis began during her childhood after her father, George VI, brought home a Pembroke Welsh corgi puppy for the royal family. His official title was Royzabel Golden Eagle, but he was more commonly known as Dookie. The pup's training staff gave him this playful moniker as they knew that he was going to live in the Duke of York's household. And that wasn't young Elizabeth's only canine companion. Shortly after taking in Dookie, the royal family added another Pembroke Welsh corgi to their household named Jane. She remained with the family until her tragic death in 1944, when she was fatally hit by a passing car. The royal family also had other dogs named Ching, Carol, and Cracker. With all these four-legged friends in her childhood, it's hardly a surprise that the Queen remains such a steadfast animal lover to this day.
Her dog, the royal dog of this nation, is the corgi.
Elizabeth didn't have a furry friend that was truly hers and hers alone until her late teens. On her 18th birthday, she received a special gift in the form of a Pembroke Welsh corgi named Susan. She was the first corgi that belonged to the Queen herself and not the family. Officially registered as Hickathrift Pippa, Her Majesty's new friend was initially called Sue, which eventually developed into Susan. The Queen's fondness for Susan eventually led to her breeding her pet, starting a royal corgi dynasty that continued for more than 80 years. All the corgis that have been a part of the Queen's family have reportedly come from Susan's lineage. In 2018, Susan's line finally came to an end with the death of her last remaining descendant, Willow. At the time of Willow's death, she had cancer-related illness and was eventually put to sleep to prevent any prolonged suffering. Her passing was reportedly extremely hard for the Queen due to the connection to Susan. Queen Elizabeth's love for corgis is unquestionably legendary. As Vanity Fair put it in 2015, no world leader has been as widely identified with a particular animal as Elizabeth II with her corgis. It takes time for someone to become iconic for their animal ownership, and over Her Majesty's reign, it's estimated that she's owned at least 30 corgis, if not more. The long-running lineage of royal corgis reportedly began after the beloved Susan birthed two puppies, Sugar and Honey. Sugar would continue the line, which eventually ended with Willow, the 14th generation of Susan's descendants. If you're somehow still skeptical of the Queen's never-ending devotion to her four-legged friends, you should realize just how much these furry pals have been integrated into royal affairs and international events. For example, the 2012 London Olympics featured a sketch with the royal corgis escorting James Bond into Buckingham Palace, while Christmas time 2014 saw the palace gift shop overflowing with stuffed animal corgis for royal fans who were eager to emulate the Queen.
She's really focused on them, and it's almost as if she's done it as a way of creating a brand.
Anyone can call themselves the ultimate dog lover, but how many can claim that they've actually created a new breed? Queen Elizabeth can, as she's reportedly credited with inventing a unique breed called the Dorgi. Although, it's worth noting that the initial creation was entirely accidental. As reported by Vanity Fair, Dorgis sprang into existence in 1971 when royal corgi Tiny mated with Pipkin, Princess Margaret's dachshund. The result was 6 adorable hybrid pooches that would become known as Dorgis. The royal family reportedly loved their new furry friends so much that they continued to breed the animals, thereby leading to even more Dorgis. These new royal household members included the likes of Tinker, Cider, Rum, Berry, Candy, Brandy, Harris, Piper, Chipper, Vulcan, and Pickles. But of course, man's best friend, or Queen's best friend, can't stick around forever. In 2020, Vulcan died of old age, but before his passing, he was one of the 4 royal dogs who appeared on the cover of Vanity Fair when Annie Leibovitz photographed the Queen for a 2016 issue. One constant throughout Elizabeth's reign is her beloved 4-legged friends firmly at her side. Her corgi Susan even accompanied her and Prince Philip on their 3-week honeymoon. A photograph from the Royal Collection Trust even features the couple strolling the grounds during their honeymoon, along with the ever-loyal Susan trotting along directly behind the Queen. And Susan isn't the only corgi who's accompanied Her Majesty on her trips. As it turns out, her pets are quite the avid travelers. The Queen is a frequent flyer, and as a royal, she travels in style on her private aircraft. While all those flights can be taxing, the Queen makes sure to bring plenty of pooches for company. Bob Shields, one of the Queen's former flight navigators, revealed on the TV documentary Secrets of the Royal Flight how the royal staff would try to make the dogs do their business before flying so as to avoid accidents while on board. But this worry was actually unnecessary, as the pets were incredibly well trained. As Shields remarked proudly, "I am delighted to say we never had one accident." If you think you treat your furry friends like royalty, think again. There's no way you can compare to Queen Elizabeth, whose pets even have a special living space in Buckingham Palace known as the Corgi Room. If you're a fan of Netflix's The Crown, you might already be familiar with this particular accommodation. This pet-friendly area is perfect for any royal dog who wants to relax in style. As former royal chef Darren McGrady revealed on his YouTube channel, these regal canines truly receive the royal treatment. He noted that they sleep in small wicker baskets in the Corgi Room and that they're watched after by a couple of footmen.
Doggy 1 and Doggy 2, that's what we used to call them.
Of course, these royal pooches' high status can also make some of the staff nervous about interacting with them. McGrady, for one, was worried about his first meeting with the Queen's prized pups, and his initial encounter with them didn't exactly go as planned. As he put it,
I saw in the distance the Queen and the corgis, and I got really excited.
McGrady's nerves ended up getting the best of him, though. As he recounted, as she got closer, the dog saw me and came running towards me, barking like crazy. All of them. I was so scared, I turned around and ran away.
And the Queen was laughing. She thought it was really funny. With hindsight, I think it was.
Animal lovers are often willing to overlook their pets' bad habits. That's usually no big deal. But when you're Queen Elizabeth, her misbehaving pets just might end up on the news. As the Queen's dresser, Angela Kelly, recalled in her book, The Other Side of the Coin, the Queen, the dresser, and the wardrobe, the corgi's carefree lounging can sometimes cause unfortunate accidents. According to Kelly, jeweler Harry Collins once tripped after failing to spot a corgi named Lynette lying on the floor. As Kelly put it, terrified that he'd hurt one of the Queen's dogs, Harry frantically rubbed Lynette's chest, apologizing profusely. But Her Majesty reassured Mr. Collins and told him not to worry. It was not his fault, as the corgis had a terrible habit of lying in the most awkward places. But their choice of resting place is far from the corgis' worst behavior, as they've reportedly gotten into some pretty nasty tussles with other royal pets. For example, in 2012, they fought with Princess Beatrice's Norfolk Terriers. As a result, one of the terriers, named Max, suffered terrible injuries and had to be taken to the vet. A few decades earlier, in 1991, the Queen needed 3 stitches after trying to break up a fight between 8 of her pets and 2 of the Queen Mother's corgis. Many pet owners give their furry friends special meals, but Her Majesty's corgis truly eat like royalty every day. As former royal chef Darren McGrady revealed to Insider, the Queen's corgis have their own special menu made up of fresh ingredients. No canned food for these canines. McGrady went into further detail on his YouTube channel as he recreated the signature meals that he would prepare for the royal dogs. When he was first hired, he thought he'd be cooking for kings and queens and presidents, but then he quickly got a surprising assignment.
One of the first jobs I had was cooking for the corgis, the royal corgis.
According to McGrady, the corgis ate plates of freshly chopped chicken, beef, rabbit, and liver on a daily basis. Additionally, chopped cabbage and rice were separately mixed into the meats on specific dogs' plates to help settle the stomachs of those who were dealing with tummy problems. But the most important part of preparing meals for the royal pets was making sure that all of the meat was cut down to a fine dice so as to avoid any bones. After all, no chef wants to be responsible for a royal corgi choking. Pet owners choose to honor their furballs in a number of different ways after they die. And when it comes to the animal-loving British royal family, they of course make sure to give their pets a very special final resting place. The Sandringham estate in Norfolk is home to a pet cemetery for royal companions, and the family chooses to keep the burial plot hidden to ensure privacy for their late pets. Queen Victoria initially set up the cemetery in 1887 after the death of her collie, Noble, but the spot initially saw little use after its creation. Eventually, though, in 1959, Queen Elizabeth revived the plot to ensure an ideal resting place for her beloved corgi, Susan. Susan rests alongside her descendants Sugar and Heather, all three of whom have similar gravestones that refer to each as the faithful companion of the Queen. A stone wall decorated with plaques separates the pet cemetery from the rest of the estate. These memorials offer tribute to pets like Prince Philip's yellow Labrador, Candy, who died in 1958, and a black Labrador named Sandringham Slipper, who died in 1980. Other commemoratives include a black lab named Sandringham Bray, who is remembered as a gentleman amongst dogs, and a roan cocker spaniel named Sandringham Fern, who's memorialized as a tireless worker and mischievous character. 2021 was a year of great loss for Queen Elizabeth. That was when her husband, Prince Philip, died in April. Then a month later, her Dorgi puppy Fergus died as well. The prince was 99, while Fergus was only 6 months old. Fergus and another puppy were actually gifts from the Queen's son, Prince Andrew, to cheer her up while Philip was sick.
But life, of course, consists of final partings as well as first meetings.
The Queen was understandably, reportedly quite devastated at the surprising loss, but she's hardly without canine companionship at the moment. As of 2022, Elizabeth is the proud owner of 3 dogs. There's a 10-year-old Dorgi named Candy, another Dorgi named Muick, and a new corgi whose name hasn't been released yet to the public. The Sun announced the addition of the latest pup back in 2021, stating that the new corgi was a gift given on what would have been Prince Philip's 100th birthday. A Windsor Castle insider told the newspaper that Her Majesty was absolutely delighted with her new furry pal. This news of a new dog might come as a shock to some, as it had been reported by Express back in 2015 that the Queen wouldn't be getting any new dogs after her current ones pass away. This surprising stance was out of fear that Her Majesty would sustain an injury from tripping over one of the dogs. She even reportedly turned down an offer for 2 new puppies from her granddaughter, Princess Beatrice. But of course, being an avid animal lover is a hard habit to kick, and since then, the Queen has clearly changed her mind about taking in new pets. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more list videos about your favorite royals are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.